Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Super Bowl Radio Row. And here we are joined. You know what, Ryan? Before I introduce you, let me get my fork and knife out for this one. All right. We are joined by Ryan Nece. Ryan, what's going on?
What's up? You got the fork and knife out. You ready? I like it. You hungry?
Ready for the culinary cook-off, baby.
There it is, the culinary cook-off. It's going to happen. It's amazing. You think about all the great events over the years that the Super Bowl's had, and obviously this year is a little bit different, but needless to say, we find ways to call audibles, right? In the world of football, you call an audible, and the culinary kickoff in Chrissy Delisle and all the things they do. This is going to be a fun event, even though we're not necessarily doing it in person, we're doing it virtually. So I'm glad you got your fork and knife ready, because we're going to be cooking up some good food, no doubt. We'll learn about some great things from amazing chefs.
And some crew you guys are bringing along. So this is one of, guys, if you've never been to one of the culinary cook-offs, that's a real tongue twister.
Yeah, right.
This is one of the best events, Super Bowl weekend. So paint the picture for them, Ryan, what it normally is, and then kind of how this year's digital version is going to go.
Yeah, normally it's a star-studded event, and star-studded from really two buckets. The first bucket being phenomenal chefs, world-renowned chefs, Michelin star chefs come together to find their way into the event, to cook some amazing dishes alongside a group of elite athletes, Hall of Famers, of folks like Charles Woodson, Ronnie Lott, Emmitt Smith, and the like. So that's the normal environment, along with some, great music, great food, and obviously great people. It always is one of my favorite events of the Super Bowl. And I'm looking at it from a virtual standpoint, and we're going to still have a lot of those same components. You're going to have some great chefs cooking up amazing dishes. You're going to have some amazing athletes telling some jokes and having a good time and learning how to cook. I can't wait to watch my father, Ronnie Lott, and see what he has to do. And then on the backdrop of that, the one thing that'll be missing won't be necessarily the physical interaction we'll have normally, but we'll be able to communicate and talk socially and enjoy each other through the virtual setting. So a little different this year, but nevertheless, a great way to celebrate, Super Bowl 55.
Absolutely. And we got a great game we're going to be watching as well. Now, we know that you and your father both know how to lay out the hits, but how do you guys lay it down in the kitchen? Who's the better cook between you two?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Now, my father obviously has 4 Super Bowl rings. I have 1 Super Bowl ring. But if it comes down to the cooking, I'm gonna take the championship there, because I'm versatile. My dad's great on the grill, but I can go in the kitchen, I can get on the stove. I'm good with the microwave. You name it, I got it down. So I'm more versatile than he is nowadays.
So, let's talk about your dream menu right here. If you're laying down a Super Bowl menu, what is Chef Nece throwing down?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's going to start with my favorite type of food. It's Mexican food, right? So we're going to have some amazing nachos, but not just normal nachos like we had in college with just some cheese and some chips, and you throw it in the microwave. We're going to put some beans in there. We're going to put multiple beans, and pinto beans and black beans. And, we're going to also throw in there some jalapenos and some chicken and some bacon. And we're going to throw some cilantro on there. Then we'll throw some salsa and tomatoes and onions. And then you put that in the oven, you bake it down. And no doubt, that's just a starter, all right? We're just getting kicked off here. That's the starting dish. So our main dish is we got to go with the carne asada and enchilada dish. That combination, I don't care who you are, it's to die for. So if you want to come over and hang out with me during our Super Bowl, you know what, we're throwing down in the kitchen. So that'll be a lot of fun.
I'll tell you what, if they're not down with that menu, I don't want them at the party.
Yeah, exactly. Forget about them. They're not, you know what? I forgot one of the things. You got to throw in some amazing guacamole too, right? You got to throw in the guac, got to throw in the homemade guac, chips and salsa. You got to roll me out of there after the Super Bowl's over.
That's what I was going to say. This is the party that you see the legends leave a little healthier, a little heartier.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that Super Bowl ring of yours. How cool is it to see your Tampa Bay Buccaneers going home? The first time in NFL history, a team will be hosting a Super Bowl. How cool? Yeah, what kind of edge do you think it provides?
What's interesting, it does provide an edge, because what it provides is a place of familiarity. The locker room's familiar. The stadium's familiar. The way you drive into the stadium is going to be familiar. All of those things are going to be very familiar, which creates a level of comfort. And when you're comfortable, when you feel good, you know what? You play good. And so those are the things that are going to allow this team to walk into an environment that they're very used to, that they're very comfortable. And I think it'll give them a little level of confidence. But I promise, once that ball's kicked, it's the Super Bowl. So that comfort level will start to disappear once they take a hit and once those butterflies go away and once Kansas City figures out, you know what, we're comfortable right here on this gridiron as well. Right. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be very competitive. Really proud of the Tampa Bay organization, the Glazer family, for the strings they pulled in the offseason to get Tom Brady to come. You know what? This is why they made that move, and it's paying off. And I'll tell you what, for the fan base in Tampa, which is the best fan base in football, I promise you, when Ray J is rocking and the cannons are firing, it is a phenomenal sporting atmosphere. And you know what? They deserve it. These are great fans. They've been waiting for this a long time, ever since we won it back in 2002. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'll be there cheering everybody on.
Man, you know who's going to have the toughest day? The guy who's got to fire the cannons, because if the Chiefs score, it's a Super Bowl. He's got to let them off, doesn't he?
I mean, a rumor has it that they're not going to allow the cannons to fire, which I think is,
come on.
They want it to be a neutral site, but again, it's never happened before. So they should set precedent that if you get the opportunity, and it's rare, the chances of this happening again are very rare. But if you do, you should get some home court love. You should be able to fire the cannons. People love
fire the cannons.
Fire them up.
So let's talk about now when, one of the benefits here, all the fun's going to be had, but one of the benefits of doing the culinary cook-off is all the great charitable work that goes into it. And this year, one of the beneficiaries is going to be your foundation. You do a lot of great work with your family foundation. Tell us a little bit about it and tell us where some of these funds are going to go for folks to join it.
That's a great question. I appreciate you talking about it. And hopefully, again, it's not just about buying a ticket to watch and have amazing chefs teach you how to cook and watch some elite athletes tell jokes and have a good time and see some familiar faces. The proceeds are going to amazing organizations. And we have actually happen to be the beneficiaries of that, as you said. And the Ryan Nece Foundation was started almost 15 years ago. If you can imagine, that makes me old, but it was started off of a simple premise. I felt that there were young minds out there being inundated with messages on how to take care of self, have it your way, obey your thirst, blah, 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 about taking care of self. We weren't teaching young minds, or not doing a very good teaching young minds to think about others. And so we start with a very simple question in our student service program. When's the last time you asked a family member or friend, how can I help you? What can I do for you to make your day better? And if we can teach young minds to embrace that question and do that on a regular basis over and over again for the rest of their life, man, I tell you, it'll make a world of difference. And so we built an entire curriculum that takes our students through our student service program, teaching them the principles of the power of giving. And that's the curriculum that we implement on a daily basis. It's the things that we do in the Tampa Bay area and that we serve and impact lives. We have roughly between 12 to 20 students in each cohort. And each of those students is going to go on to probably impact 10 to 20,000 people during their time with our organization. So really proud of what we do, really proud of the organization, the support, the community, and for all of us, in a sense, getting in a huddle together to go out and make great plays.
That's awesome. And it really is true. Like, you look at teams, and I mean, you played for some great coaches, but you look at like all the guys on a team and you realize that all of these guys are big influencers in their community, the hometowns they grew up in. And so it really is a spider effect. And when you can impact a bunch of kids, you don't know what they're going to go into the world and do. So that's very powerful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all of us can trade stories about that coach, that teacher, that mentor, that friend, that parent that said something to us early on. They planted a seed early on that gave us hope, that gave us confidence, that gave us the belief that we could go and maybe pursue our dreams or maybe start to think about others. And so 100%. And that's, we're excited that we can use our platform and use this power for good to try to make a difference. And so, really proud of all the organizations that are being represented with this great event.
That is an incredible answer. And You know what? You are all about the we and not the me. You really live that, man. That's awesome. So now we got to ask you, even though I feel like we might be spinning our tires on this question, folks, who you got this Sunday to take it home?
Well, it's easy to talk about the great quarterbacks. And I say great because Patrick Mahomes is already great. He's young, but he's clearly on his path to greatness. And the GOAT himself, we don't need to spend too much time talking about Mr. Brady. But I will say, as a former defensive player, defense does win championships. And it's easy to focus on these elite quarterbacks, but let's look at the defenses. And when I look at both these defenses right now going into this game, Tampa's playing at another level. I mean, they are playing lights out. They look like they're all on the same page. They're moving together well. Their pursuit, they have fresh legs. They have a sense of urgency, and they're playing with the ferociousness that I think is going to be needed to find a way to corral this speed and find a way to get after Patrick Mahomes. So, clearly, I'm going after Tampa, and I'm picking Tampa. It's going to be a close game. I'm taking the under because I'm a defensive guy, but I can't wait to watch it.
You know what? He's saying that Tampa's going to be eaten, and we're going to be eaten, baby.
I can't wait. We're going to have my nachos and my carne asada, and we're going to get after it, and we're going to watch this game.
I will be there, folks, and we will see you all Saturday at the Culinary Kickoff. Let's get things going. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to visit us.
Hey, thank you. Look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday at the Culinary Cook-Off, and I can't wait to watch this game with everybody. Let's get after it.